Welcome to the Geekz 31 Days of Horror for Halloween. This is Alil.
This is Steve.
And this is Sean.
And tonight we're reviewing Dark Harvest from 2022. So for those of you who have not been with us before, we will play for you our rating system.
It came out in 2022?
Yep.
I thought it was 2023.
Weird.
I'm looking at a release date right here. It says 2022. So, I don't know.
I don't care. Let's go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Teens confront a legendary supernatural specter that emerges from the cornfields every fall. Sure, that is kind of what happens here, but there's a lot more to it.
And unexplained, because I was very confused at some point. But okay.
I started telling my own story for part of it.
Yeah, so did I. I started telling my own story.
This isn't really the 50s. This is today, but they're all living in the 50s.
Yes, yes.
Like they're
trapped. Yes.
That's what I thought.
Twilight Zone, right? You get past a certain part and they turn a corner and there's like a fucking it's like 20.
There's a fucking Walmart or some shit.
Yeah,
it's like you say GameStop. You're like, what the fuck is a video game? You know?
Yeah, it was very weird.
We're gonna go with that because I like that.
Yeah, that would have helped the story a lot. I mean,
it would have helped a lot.
So
it would have helped.
Steve,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. So Steve, you picked this movie, and I can see why, because it seems like a creature feature, right? Because we have a creature we're dealing with.
Yes.
I'll start with my. Well, kind of.
Yes.
A possessed creature, pumpkin head guy, you know.
Very much so, with claws and
he transforms. So, I'll give my review. I did like this movie. I did see that there are some flaws in it. It's one of the lower budget movies. I'm going to give it a high sidekick. It misses the mark of a hero because I'm telling my own story for it. Right? Like if there were things about this that led to what I was believing was happening, I'd give it a hero 100%. I do give Pumpkinhead guy, that character and creature, hero. I give dad and mom fucking zeros. And maybe that's what it is. Like I hated a lot of the parents and stuff like that. And
You're supposed to.
Really stupid, but it was just really stupid. But again, cool concept. Good execution, not great execution. Some good kills, some unexpected kills. But again, I wish for a little bit more just to give me that extra push. It was there. It was almost there. But I give it a high sidekick. So, Sean.
I'm going to agree with Lil. I give it a high sidekick. It was great elements, bad storytelling. I think the story could have been different than what it was. I was expecting something different, and I was always waiting for something to tell more of a story, and it didn't tell that part of the story. And I was like, and I figured it out from probably the beginning, but like I just wanted more from it. I was like, God damn it, just give me that little piece of something at the end to tell me that there's more something out there. And then there's that this was an experiment, or this came from some monster, or another. Like it didn't tell that part, and I'm fucking wondering why it didn't. But I still liked it though. Like the premise was so awesome, the creature was so cool. But I just wanted that one little part to tell me, oh shit, okay. I hated all of the adult characters. I thought the younger kid characters were great. I just think that like Lil said, it just needed something. I was telling my own story, and I don't want to have to do that when I'm watching a movie. I don't want to tell my own story. And that is something that should not be done in such a good movie. It just didn't end well. And I did not like that. I was like, fuck. Because then there was a point where it was like, oh, it came back. I was like, oh, you're gonna talk about this? Oh no, they didn't. They set me up and then they just fucking threw me back down. I was mad as shit. So yeah, that's it. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I hear your complaints, but I point to a movie like The Village. Divisive movie.
Kind of like The Village.
Yeah, no. And one of the parts that I didn't like the most was when she popped up and you got that little scene that you guys are asking for here. And to me, it ruined that fucking movie. And so you got to be careful what you wish for. So that being said,
True.
you're
point. Good
what
point.
you got, you guys' points you're making are valid, but I give this movie a hero. I thought it was filmed phenomenally. There were so many shots that looked like they were straight up drawn, like straight out of a comic book, with the guys with the skull masks in the cornfield with that awesome moonlight setting. The kills were amazing. The special effects on them were great. There is a bunker scene in this movie that is for the ages. The creature was just great looking. It just looked scary as shit, and they did a ton of close-ups on it. They did not hide that creature. I thought the acting was out of this world. I'm not a big one for love stories and all that in movies, but the two leads here are our kid and the girl that he meets up with in the movie that kind of run things. I've bought into they had great chemistry, and they finally had that moment where they locked lips, and I was like, yeah, fucking go get them. I was like pumped up for them. Like, it was a good movie. I liked all the characters. The parents were shitty, but they were all just stuck in this thing. And yes, I do think that they should have explained why are all these adults like on board with this? Like, what is kind of going on? Because the kids don't seem to know what the fuck is going on, but the adults do. So there is something more to explore there, and I wish they would have, but I'm okay that they didn't. I'm okay with kind of exploring those thoughts on my own. I think the highs are just too high to for the lows to drag it down for me. It's too high up there for me.
Well, I think part of it too for me was like I liked the pumpkin character, the creature.
I did too.
But it didn't make sense some of the time. Because some of the time he moved super slow.
Right.
And some of the time he was just like that scene where they were in the cornfield and he was murdering everyone.
Yeah.
Like, he was moving fast as shit. And I'm like, what the hell is happening?
But then he moved slow as shit at other times.
Exactly. Like, these kids.
Well, it's the Michael Myers effect, you see him and it looks like he's walking and then poof, he's there.
Stick to that. Don't throw it all around and make it like, oh shit, he's got real fucking superpowers. He's like fast as shit. And then all of a second he's slow as a motherfucker. And then
right, because they were going to supernatural, but then it kind of it is supernatural, but then it's not.
And then it didn't really bother me.
But then when he's caught, he can't do shit. Like, so did he lose power when he got to the fucking church? Like, I'm confused by that. Like,
yeah, I don't even know what happens when he gets to the church. They didn't explain
heads off and ripping fucking heads off. Why the fuck don't he keep that same energy? Like, yo,
maybe he does. Maybe he does lose energy the later the night gets.
But it wasn't explained.
I know. But I'm still okay with it.
Well, and also, we have to get into spoilers because
again, we've already
high sidekick hero. I think we can all agree we liked the movie. You guys needed some more explanation. I was fine with what we got, but I also agree that we needed more explanation. So,
all right. So the opening was cool. Again, we have it's the older brother because we follow the younger brother. And the whole town is hunting this creature, and we're like, "What the hell is happening?"
Right.
So it's Halloween, I guess. Right? Is this when it's happening? Is this Halloween or is this just some random fucking night?
It's Halloween, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, because they're all in costumes. They're all.
But are they in costumes because of?
No, I think it's their Halloween.
It's their Halloween. And see, that's what I wanted more of. Like, the town's Halloween ceremony is about this. They kind of really didn't go into that. It was like, oh, we're doing this.
Well, they did. I mean, they talked about the 1 year they didn't. That this fucking crazy storm came and ruined the crops, and a bunch of people got sick and died, and because that thing made it to the church that 1 year, that happened. So every year since, they've been able to kill it.
But it doesn't make sense that he made it to the church and nobody killed it when you need him to get to the church.
And that's the thing too,
to get to the next level.
And that's the thing too, like right? Because maybe they're just telling the story that happened. We don't have any evidence that happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, where the explanation is needed, right? Like it's
It sounds like this feels like a very Cabin in the Woods. Like I need to see fucking those two guys sitting there looking at the computer monitors and playing games on their lunch break and shit.
No, it's not. It's not that. I think to me, it's like they
Richard
should have
Jenkins.
explained a little bit more.
Yeah, I think the opening when they did the whole opening could have had, even if it's a fucking, which I hate voiceovers, but even if it is some kind of storytelling through the eyes of the brother or something, like this is what we do. Here's my brother because he's a senior in high school, and this is their time. This is what we do, because it gave me like a Hunger Games meets I'm trying to think of another, like a pumpkin head because of the creature, like
Meets
all
the
these
outsiders.
yeah, something. Yeah, well, yeah, because all of a sudden I'm watching, I'm like, why are they all fucking greasers? Like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
Right,
I was ready for Grease, them to start fucking singing doo-wop
The Jets and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was too. Let me tell you, this shit would have been even fucking more fucking hero. I mean, Steve gave it a hero, but it would have had a really cool thing if the characters were where there was a little bit more story to, and they survived a little bit longer. But the characters like they introduced, it was like that. And I thought I was like, oh well, this is their little gang, and they're gonna survive this shit, but they're gonna work together to fucking kill this motherfucker. Like that's what I thought at first.
No, that gang did not last at all.
It did not last long.
And that led to one of the first great kills of the movie when that one kid who's
No,
like the
I
main
agree.
kid driving in the poster, he's front and center, this one kid. And he's running through the cornfield and half his fucking head gets cut off.
Yeah,
and he's still talking.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes. And he's like, Richie, but his whole top of his head's missing. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
that was great. And I love like you guys, we make fun of my affinity for the Children of the Corn. There's something about cornfields and scarecrows that I've always just been drawn to. It's like fascinating for me. It's very scary. And when I'm seeing these kids getting yanked down into the corn and shit like that, I know it might not be scary for you. It's just something that hits me in a certain way.
No, I know. I mean, I grew up next to cornfields and shit.
No, they suck. They're scary and they suck.
But like,
every year.
It's the aesthetic, and it's also the director David Slade. I'm a big fan of 30 Days of Night. That particular vampire movie was great. Josh Hartnett. There's something about it, like the way he films it and the vibe that he has. I don't know. I really dig it.
All right. I mean, and I get it. So I mean,
like
so the
old
opening
movie theater. The old movie theater.
And
was
again,
great.
The other thing I didn't get was these kids murder this Pumpkin King guy or whatever the fuck they want to call him, and then Jack, right? His name was Jack.
Sawtooth Jack, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So, but then they start fucking eating him. I mean, stuffed with candy, but they're eating organs and shit. And I'm like,
well,
because
what the fuck are they? You saw? Well, they fucking starved him
for 3 days. Though? Like I'm like, and for eating a body when they know it's a monster and you're gonna eat that shit like that.
Well, it's no food or water for 3 days. That's like you're damn near dead.
And I get they did explain that part. Like I like that part. I'm like, oh, let me out.
So it
like,
drives you to kind of you're like mad. I mean, maybe they could have gone for more than 3 days, maybe like a week with water. Maybe that would have made them, I don't know. But either way, they kind of explain that they're kind of in a frenzied state. They're all just kind of driven.
But they destroy the whole town for food.
They did. They murdered each other. There was that one scene where the dude hit the other dude in the face with an axe.
Well, right, but the year before, it didn't seem like it was all that bad, right? It seemed like they were like they all kind of teamed up, beat the monster. Like that one kid died in the road, but everybody else seemed like all right. Like that monster seemed scared as shit when he was getting his ass beat in the beginning of the movie. Like not only that, they like hip hip hooray to his brother. Like they fucking put him up on their shoulders and was like, yeah. Like in this one, they were like looting. Maybe they like accidentally starved him too long. I don't know.
Well, remember, because the one convenience store owner or whatever, it was not a convenience store because I guess it was in the 50s.
Oh yeah, the guy who was like he was shotgunning kids out there in the streets.
He was just shooting the fucking kids, and then when they broke through and they fucking murdered him, and they started eating it, I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I just thought it was a great breakdown, and I love how you have these nerds hanging out in the fucking in the bunker, and they because they don't want to participate. They don't care if they get the trophy. They don't want to win. They're just like down there hiding, and they let the one kid in, but then they kick him out or something. I forget what happens, but
no, because they didn't want to open the door, but the one kid felt bad.
Yeah.
And so once they opened the door to let the other kid in that was out there, one of the it was the last greaser friend.
That's right. He gets yanked back, and then
he gets yanked back, and then Jack comes through,
and a scene straight out of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Evil Dead, where just blood just starts gushing through. It was like fountain of blood
coming out of that bunker. It was so good.
Which is weird. I didn't understand the Sawtooth Jack's energy. Like is he supposed to just go around and kill people? Like, or is he supposed to get to the church? Like, I'm confused by that. Is he supposed to kill or fucking get to the church?
I think both.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, right?
But then he stops and burns down the house.
He should be like.
Yeah, and how does he have this fucking supernatural power to start everything on fire? This geyser of fucking blood, yet he's like when he's caught and murdered, like
he's a monster, man.
Like pick a lane though. Like
I know. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think clearer rules should have been established. I can agree with that. I think his motive is in question.
He's burning motherfuckers up. Right? He's fucking splattering blood all over. Like, yo,
he's got the memories. He obviously
that's right. Memories. He has his old memory, and he burnt his old house.
Well, so when you kill the monster, you get a brand new car. Your family gets 25,000, or you get a brand new car, 25 grand. Your family gets a brand new house in the good side of town, and you get to leave the town. That's the prize for killing the monster every year. So you find out that as you're leaving the town, the sheriff pulls you over and kills you, and they bury you, and then they resurrect you the next year and make you.
Yeah, because you're now Sawtooth Jack or whatever the fuck, Sweet Tooth Jack. I don't even.
So the brother from the beginning of the movie is now the monster running around, and he obviously has some of his memories because he goes back to his house. His old house that he lived in is the one that he burned down.
And so this is my biggest gripe, Steve. Our main character, the older brother's younger brother, who wants to do it because he wants to get out too. He wants to prove himself because everybody's just calling him like a piece of shit, like hanging out on his brother's coattails, and he becomes this greaser fucking kid. When in the beginning we see him as this like good boy with his like parted side part hair, and he was all like the little good boy.
He's not even a fucking badass. He's a fucking bitch.
He does run away a lot.
He is.
Yeah, he's a fucking bitch.
He knows if he kills him, he's going to become him. He knows the fucking story.
But he didn't know that until later.
No, he knew because
he does because he knows it's his brother.
Yeah, he
knows. But
like
he kills him. He doesn't want to kill him. He kills him because he's gonna get killed, and he would rather be the one that kills him than let that fucking asshole.
He didn't know it was his brother till after the fact.
No, because he was holding him on the steps.
He was. He saw him get away
after
from him.
the fact. After the fact, he knew who he was. Okay,
but he wasn't dead yet. So like he knew
gave him. He did a death blow.
Yes, he's the one that shot him because he didn't want to let anybody else do it.
But I don't know why, because then he's dead.
Like,
he's gotta know he's dead.
Yeah, but that's another fucking thing. It's like
I think he thought he was gonna get out. I think he thought he was gonna be able to make it out.
No,
he didn't look it because he didn't look happy the whole fucking time when he was.
Right, but that's the dumbest shit that I've ever seen. It's like, motherfucker, if you know you about to go turn into whatever the fuck is gonna happen, why not fucking leave?
He did. He got the car and he kissed old girl and then he was like, "Let's go."
No. He left by their permission. Why the fuck are you just don't leave without their permission?
First,
you know what's coming. You know what's coming.
I guess get a better head start.
Well, he tried. He tried to leave that one time, and the cop fucking got him. Like he tried to leave before any of this shit even started, and the cop came and got him.
The cop was
and fucking knocked him out and fucking threw his ass in jail.
Dude,
and there's only one road out of town,
and there's only one cop.
Again, yeah.
You were carrying around a gun. Shoot the fucking cop and leave.
Exactly. I'd have been blew his fucking head off.
Or I would have stabbed his tire on his car.
Maybe, you don't know. You didn't grow up in fucking Mayberry over here, so I don't know.
I don't know, but it just seemed like it was very bizarre.
It was very bizarre.
And the other thing, Steve, I know you said you like the the chemistry between the girl that they fell in love very quickly, which is fine. I didn't
Yeah,
mind
it's
that
young
part.
love. It's young love.
I didn't mind that part.
Not gonna last, but it's young love.
What I felt was crazy was when the cop was chasing him and she was in the car and she's just crying. It's like she didn't leave.
She didn't do shit.
And I'm like, either you go after and help, or you just fucking take off at that moment.
I thought
why are you hanging back? Like it was one night and you wanted to get out of town as well. Just go. You know,
I think she was hoping beyond all hope that he was going to come out of the cornfield and they were both going to go together.
She was tough as balls. Why the fuck didn't she fucking follow him in there and whip his ass with a fucking bat? That's what I didn't understand. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, and then
the cop. But she didn't, and then I thought, okay, well, she's going to leave, and now we're going to see what she finds because she leaves.
I thought the cop was going to become Sawtooth. And I'm like, okay, well, he dies there, so fucking he just becomes fucking Sawtooth.
That's what I thought too, and then they escape.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. I was like, oh, okay, well, they got out of there, but then they find out when they get out of there, that's a whole different fucking dimension and shit. Like that would have been fucking awesome.
Or at least the dad came and saved the son and told the son to go. And then the dad buried the policeman.
Or they get out and they fucking get into another fucking, they get out of that fucking world and all there is sawtooths. That would have been fucking
As
awesome.
It sits, the dad comes back and kills the magic farmer and says, burn the town down. And then we get credits.
Again.
So, listen.
Like the ending.
Hero. I still really like it. I think this movie is going to go into rotation, and maybe on further watchings, I will be able to pick things apart and see things on a second viewing. Maybe there is little hidden details that I missed, but I really, really like this movie.
How was she the only black girl in town? What the fuck happened to the rest of the fucking black people?
Because
what kind of segregated shit is this?
It was America in the 1950s, Sean.
Yeah, I get it, but she was allowed in there.
Actually, it was the 60s. It was the 60s.
Whatever. Yeah. There's greasers. I don't know when the fuck greasers.
Again, there was no more black people. Where the fuck was all the black people?
Well, and that's the thing too. Her dad and stuff like left the town. How did the fuck did her dad leave the town when nobody else could fucking leave the town?
That's why I thought she was a plant, but then I was like, they can't do that. But I don't know. I know. It's.
I'm not even frozen.
I know you're not. But
I'm just like.
Sean,
I know. I'm still. I know you're not trying to convince me of otherwise.
We're not trying to convince you to lower your rating. You loved it. You can love it, but there's too many questions.
There was so
many questions. There's so many questions.
Although I'm so glad you agree with me on this because I was just like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, damn, we could have got this. Damn, we could have got that. But
I like the pumpkin. I like that they put a real pumpkin on his head and it just like deteriorates over his face and becomes part of him. I'm like, oh, that's a cool design.
That was dope.
Why couldn't they do so much better with him? Like
practical effects too on a lot of it. So
yeah, agreed. So all right, well there you go. Dark Harvest.
I think we talked about it longer than we probably should have, but we loved it. So like,
it's a good one.
It's a good one. It's not bad. It was great. I actually liked it. I enjoyed it, but just plot holes.
I know it's like you could write such a cool backstory and have this just be like you guys had this whole novel and like this Dark Harvest is just like a chapter and you're like, but it's part of like all this. You're like, oh, okay. I totally
yeah. Like if this was a what the shits that we like, fucking like
Black Mirror,
Little Sam, like anthology.
No, like anthology.
This is part of a fucking anthology. All in. That would have been fucking dope.
Right.
I mean, I guess they could. Point. They could have easily done it if they just filmed it over. If it was just like this, if they just showed you the one night,
yeah,
without any real backstory, you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Just ends.
If Sam was walking through the shit, I'd be like, all right, cool, I'm done.
And he's coming back.
As it sits, it's really cool. So
yeah,
all right, I'm glad we.
All right, well, that's it for tonight. This is Lil.
This is Sean,
and this is Steve. And until tomorrow night, everybody, keep it creepy.